Everybody, this is the 6 o'clock meeting of the Public Service Committee on May 25th. My name is Councilor TALLMAN. To my right is Ward 3 Councilor David Bartley. To my left is Ward 2 Councilor Will Puello. And this meeting is live streamed. It is broadcast on the Access channel, and it is being taped for the public.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to take one off the table.
Second. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Item number 1 is 4/4/23 from Mayor Joshua A. Garcia, a letter reappointing Ms. Kate Kruckemeyer, 63 Fairfield Avenue, to serve as Commissioner of the Planning Board for the City of Holyoke. Ms. Kruckemeyer will serve a 5-year term. Said term will expire on June 30th, 2028. And Kate is here tonight. Kate, would you like to come in? Thank you for attending. We did just recently, I know you've been on the planning board for approximately 4 years, and we did just receive, I know we've had a resume from you before, but received an updated resume or current resume just probably within the last hour, so we have the copies of it. And also, I believe we do have planning board minutes. Several of us just got them also probably within the last hour, and I haven't had a chance to review them, but if any councilors have any comments or questions?
Well, since, Mr. Chair, if I may, if just a point of order, if the candidate's here, so I think it's, the candidate made time to come down here. I think we should hear from the candidate as why that person be interested in serving on the planning board, and then we can ask any questions from there, and we'll see how it goes, okay?
Sounds good. Councilor? Kate, if you just give us a little background on your experience, why you want to serve on this board, and we've got your resume, and if you could just give a little briefing why you want to continue for another 5-year term, it'd be great.
Sure.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, I've been volunteering in a number of ways in the city since I moved here in the year 2000, and I was very interested in joining the planning board. One of the things I had done before that was serve on the Citizens Advisory Council for CDBG. I found that really interesting, and I understood the connections between that kind of work and what happened in planning, and so I expressed my interest in that. I was appointed 4 years ago to fill out the term of someone else who left after a year, so rather than the typical 5-year term, I've been serving for 4 years, but my reappointment is up now. I really enjoy the work of the planning board. I think it's important for the city. I've done a lot of work doing additional training to learn about all the various things that we're dealing with, put some of that on the updated resume. It's work I enjoy and would like to continue doing. So welcome other questions about that.
Thank you, Kate.
Yeah,
Councilor Bartley?
I'm a little bit of a loss at the moment, Mr. Chair, because I did request meeting minutes for the last couple of years, and I made that request a little bit ago, and we received them today. I received them today at 4:45. So it's tough to ask questions other than very, very general ones about the planning board. I can make comments that are, they're just not as informed as I'd like to be. So I'm not comfortable at this point taking a vote moving on a city council. I guess I would be of the opinion that until I review the minutes, and maybe just as a point of order, does the chair have any sense as to when we'll take up another? Will it be this fiscal year, or is it hard to say?
Yeah, it'll probably sometime next month. But I'm just saying the person is here for the meeting. This is the second time that we had scheduled this, and she's here, and I know she has a busy schedule too. And I think we could follow up with the minutes. I don't think it would be difficult to ask any questions that we have, because she's the one. I don't think, I know that the minutes have been, the meetings are recorded, and maybe there is something in there that you want to discuss, but I just don't understand why maybe we couldn't just ask her general questions and possibly move this up to the full board, because if we don't have it within a week, we probably wouldn't get it until maybe June, and if we, for just some reason, we don't have her schedule that she can make a meeting, then it's got to wait till like, I know she's on the board, and she's not going to lose her position on the planning board, but, you know, this has been, you know, a couple months anyway, so.
Yeah, so as you pointed out, the candidate would nevertheless be a holdover.
Right.
So when I look at the resume, it all reads great, but I feel a lot more comfortable having meeting minutes, because, you know, as you know, I practice law, and I've heard anecdotally from many veteran attorneys who regularly appear before the planning board, and they describe to me in detail how dysfunctional that board is, how antagonistic that board is to practicing attorneys, to candidates. When we have a planning board that is supposed to be really a huge branch of the economic development engine of the city, interfacing with attorneys and candidates who want to invest in the city, and getting that kind of pushback on a regular basis. I don't feel comfortable naming attorneys, Pete, but when I can assure you they are attorneys that are still in the city. Some of the attorneys who practice before the planning board have either passed away, or they've retired from practice. And it's with this current planning board that has been, in their estimation, a really unfortunate coalition of individuals. So I felt that out of courtesy to the candidate, it would be helpful to me, instead of just making very broad statements, just having a 2-year review of the meeting minutes, so I could sit down and read them and then rationally ask a question based upon that. Now, if there's, you know, and I have so much respect for the chair of this committee. I mean, but we did talk about this beforehand. So I'm not pulling this card. I'm not making these statements because as the chair knows, we had a full discussion about this possibility. So, I'm prepared to make a motion to table, but I won't make it because I know that cuts off debate. I won't make it unless, if other counselors want to say something, then they can say it, but I'm prepared to make a motion to table.
Councilor Puello?
Yeah, thanks, Mr. Chairman. So I think, you know, I respect Councilor Barley. If you know, if he has questions, I don't think there's anything wrong. What makes me really comfortable to seconding that is that she's a holdover, so she's not going to lose her position. She'll still be on the board. So yeah, I mean, I'm prepared to second that. I feel comfortable doing it.
Kate, do you make a
Yeah, if
statement?
I
Yes.
could speak.
Yes.
I received the request this afternoon to provide my resume. My understanding was that that was when the request came also for the minutes. It seems unfair to put people on the spot like that. I would have happily gathered information earlier, and asking at this point seems frankly like harassment. People volunteer for city boards, and they will be discouraged from volunteering for city boards if they are not treated respectfully and their time's not respected. I took time off from my afternoon of work to update my resume and provide it to you. So I will be doing my paid work this evening after my kids go to bed. I'm here and prepared to answer questions. If there are issues that counselors have with the work of the planning board and they want to know how I voted on things, how I've treated people, I'm happy to answer them now. It seems like a delaying tactic, and it's uncomfortable. If people have questions, please ask them. I'm here.
No, I agree. I see the situation, and as I stated earlier, it's a difficult position, and we do not have the minutes. And I know your time is valuable in taking the time to do what you did. Out of respect for our administrative assistant, I guess he didn't think that we'd need the resume because you were already appointed, so he didn't get it. And so we asked for that today. And I guess Councilor Barley had stated that he had asked the secretary of the planning board, you know, maybe a couple weeks ago.
Several days ago.
Several days ago for the minutes, if he could review them and to get those. So I apparently just got them today. It might be was it the last 2 years of minutes? Or first you said 6 months you wanted, but the two?
Yeah, I'll speak when you're done, Pete.
But, you know, and I understand it's unfair. And we want people to serve. We want to discourage people from serving. And you are still on, you know, the the board. But your time is valuable, just as our time is. And I know you have family, you have a job. So I'm just in a position where it's uncomfortable for me too, to try to figure out how do we get through this, civilly, And when a colleague of mine asked to table something, sometimes we have to listen, what's the reasoning, why does he want to table it? And there may be something that I'm not aware of, and, I read minutes of different boards, and, I haven't seen the minutes for this one recently. I don't think we get them on a regular basis. We do get minutes from different boards, usually on a monthly basis. But it is difficult, and just finding all this out today that we had to get all this together. I wish we had it maybe a week ago or 2 weeks ago. That way we would have been prepared. So part of it's my fault for not asking for more information for this interview, but I didn't think that all that information would be needed for tonight. So I'll just pass with that. Councilor Bartley.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I just take what the candidate just said as a classic example of probably what happens at the planning board. So I made my request not this afternoon, I made it several days ago, but to have it be alleged to be harassment, as what the candidate just said, it's an outrageous comment. And to say a delaying tactic where we already talked about it's a holdover appointment, just another outrageous comment. But that is just a classic example on the microphone in front of us. Can you imagine how they're treated and how other people go before that board? So it's an ill-informed comment, and it's kind of nasty, and it's unfortunate, but it's what I've heard that those who appear before that board should come to expect, how to be treated. So I would just say I'm going to make a motion to table this candidate.
I'll second, Mr. Chairman.
I disagree, but apparently I'm getting outvoted. Kate, is there a time that you can get with Jeffrey till we
That's
review
fine.
the minutes, maybe in a couple of weeks, at your convenience?
Thank you.
And I know you have a work schedule. If you could do that, I would appreciate that. Sure. So I'll vote no to table, but it's 2-1. The motion will be tabled to the next time we meet with you. Okay.
All right.
Thank you for coming down. I appreciate it. Okay, item
Motion to take up item
They
2.
should take it number 2.
Second.
Item number 2, this is ordered by myself, ordered that the city council hold interviews to appoint a member of the public to the Holyoke Media Board. Motion to take off the table. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? No. We have 2 candidates in front of us. You're both here. I got Russell McNiff, number 1. So Russell, you want to stop in and sit down here and hit the green mic, and this is sort of new for us. It's our new appointment. It's the first time we've had an appointment to the Holyoke the Media Board, and we're welcome. I talked to new Scott McPherson today and get a little background, and I think this will be great for the city council to have a person on the board. So if you could, we got your resume. If you could just give you a little update on your experience and why you would like to serve on the Holyoke Media Board, and we'll go from there, ask a couple questions, and go from there.
Okay, well, basically.
Is the mic on? Hit the button, green button.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
Basically, what you have in my resume is what I stand by, so it's like, there's no sense regurgitating what's on the piece of paper there. As far as why I want to serve, I think one of the things that Holyoke has, we have a great number of different things, and a lot of times we have certain things that are just kind of like not really shown in a great light, and that place down in Suffolk Street is probably one of the prime examples. I mean, I didn't get a chance to go to the open house on Friday last, but I saw some pictures of the facility, and I'll tell you, it's a first-class, I should say a world-class facility, and I think the city of Holyoke is very fortunate to have something like that in it for our citizens to utilize it to its full capacity, and I hope I can help make sure that happens for that facility, because I think it's a great thing for our city and it's a great thing for our citizens.
Okay. Thank you. Any
Yeah,
questions? Council Bartley.
Yeah, I'm just, because I know both candidates, so we're at a loss here that we only have one vote. So we're just gonna do the best we can with this. I want, just speaking for myself, regardless of whom I vote for, and tonight what I intend to do is I'll make a motion that both candidates are moved up to, without a recommendation from this board, because you're both volunteers, you're both seeking to sit on a volunteer board.
Okay.
And then we'll just let the 13 members of this little panel take a vote, and that'll be the first Tuesday in June.
Okay.
I suppose that's the way it'll happen. I like the way Pete does this meeting, and really what he's doing is emulating what Councilor Leahy did years ago. So we used to have it so the other candidates would be out in the hallway with the door closed. It's just better now having both of you here. So sometimes we have both candidates sitting at the microphone together, and we kind of have a back and forth like this, because we know full well that how important volunteers are to run. The city government cannot run without volunteers. Cannot happen.
That's true.
So relative to Holyoke Media, it's a fairly new entity within the city. It's a corporation that that essentially derives its financing from the user fee that we who subscribe to Comcast pay as attached to their bill. So that generates a significant sum of money annually. So one of the things I'll ask both. So I'll ask you, Russ. There's going to be a time commitment. There's going to be a time commitment going to meetings. There's going to be a time commitment preparing for meetings, and there's going to be a time commitment post-meeting informing us, because you're going to be our liaison, the city council's liaison. Whoever is here after next January, it will be a different makeup of a board, but still, we want to have a good person. This appointment, I understand from the chair, is 3 years, Pete?
Yes.
Okay, so it's 3-year appointment.
Okay.
So Russ, in terms of, I know you've got a lot, in terms of going to meetings, prepping for meetings, just talk a little bit about your past experience relative to that, in whatever context you want to call it. So,
I mean, as far as going to meetings,
as far because you were head of the parade committee, so you had to go to meetings. Well, tell us what you had to do for that.
basically, for any kind of meeting, whether it's parade committee, Elks, whatever. I was even on the board of directors for Holyoke Day Nursery for a short period of time. So basically, when you go into a meeting, you really have to kind of prepare yourself as far as what the subject matter is going to be about. Say if you go in and you want to talk about physical plant. Say there's something going on with a computer system or something like that. You want to make sure you have enough information in front of you so you can ask the pertinent questions, find out what are some of the solutions of the problem that's going on, and then, in this case, I would bring it back to the council as a whole, and I would explain to you what has taken place. This is what happened. This is what they're trying to. This is some of the solutions they're looking for, and this is where the situation is at the current time. Whether it's been solved, whether they're looking for you, the city council, for further recommendations or direction. If I'm going to be your eyes and ears, if you will, that would be I would take detailed notes. So when I get here and I'm talking to you people, I would make sure you guys, when I left here, you know what's going on down Holyoke Media. No fancy words, no whatever. You get it short, concise, to the point. Here's what we need to do. Here's what I want you to do, and we reach a conclusion. So that's how I would work it.
One of the things I find curious about Holyoke Media, and I said it on the microphone here on occasion, is as you can see around us, we have cameras on us, and we have cameras behind us and behind you and to the side but Holyoke Media, their board meetings aren't on camera.
They're not on camera, or they are on camera?
They are not.
They're not. Okay.
I just want to bring that to your attention, so just so you have some context. According to the chair, I believe it's a nine-person board.
Yes. Yep.
And there's a mayoral appointee and a council appointee, and I want to say there's a school. Who's our school appointee?
I'm not sure who it is.
The media gentleman.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
Well, I'm just a total blank,
Yeah,
but,
he's on the-
but, and then there's 6 others, and I'm not even sure how they're appointed. But we're gonna have to find that out as well. So there's, and I'm not saying that they're a cloistered group, but when we don't have a liaison, we don't have anybody voicing our take on it. So I just want to point that out. The last thing I'm going to point out, then I'll turn it back to the chair, is that the cable TV contract is up for renewal this year.
Okay.
So I think some of us have been in this room for a minute or two, realize that there are several Holyokers that are affiliated with Comcast, so, as professionals. So, but the way it works is only the mayor negotiates. Only the executive branch negotiates contracts. I'm not sure, I'll have to defer to the chairman to see whether or not we at the city council have any role in ratifying the contract. I think we do, but I don't know that to be true. So I certainly want to make you aware of those 2 things. 1, Holyoke Media, their makeup. 2, that they're not on Holyoke Media. And 3, the contract is up this year.
Okay.
So that's just my spiel. Thanks, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Councilor Puello?
Oh, yeah, I just want to say thanks for volunteering. That's all. Appreciate it. Scott, Councilor
I like
Bartley
that,
said-
short and sweet. I like that.
That's it.
I had a chance to talk to Scott today and, about what's going on, and it seems to be like a diverse group of people down there,
Yeah,
Okay.
well, I was on the website, and I got a chance, they had some of the board members on there. I don't know if there were 9 of them there, but I also looked at some of the minutes of their meetings, and, it looks like it's a very interesting type of thing, and it's like, and as I said before, and I can't say this enough, as far as, we're very fortunate to have something like this. This is something brand new.
Yeah.
You've got a state-of-the-art, world-class facility down there, and I hope to heck that, the city can take full use of it, I mean, it's nice that they tape meetings like this, and the full city council, and your other subcommittees, but I think there's a lot more out there that we could bring to the people of the city of Holyoke, that something they either may not have known about, or something, they're sustaining knowledge that they already know, but, oh, I didn't know that. I mean, there's all kinds of things you can do out there. So, the only thing that's really kind of limits you is your budget and your imagination. That's it.
Yeah.
So.
As I said, I talked to Scott today, and, looking for somebody that can work with others very well. And I know you have in different capacities worked with people in running meetings. And you're willing to do the 1 meeting a month. It's on Zoom right now. It's about an hour and a half.
Not a big deal. That's
But as Councilor Bartley stated, there's a prep time, there's a meeting.
Yep.
And then mainly, when I talked to Scott, this is the first time that we actually will have a member that can report back to us. And it's not like we're going to have you in here. And as Councilor Bartley said, this isn't the U.S. Senate, right? This isn't the U.S. Senate, so we're.
One of my many typical comments, Pete.
But and
It's the house.
yeah. So we had.
It felt like the last candidate, though, didn't it? Maybe.
Well, you come in here and we not to come in here, but you can contact us. If somebody has a question, one of the councilors said, well, what about that? I know you had a meeting last week. How'd it go with the budget, or how did it go with the reporting of what they're doing with the community, or whatever? Because I did get a chance to go down there for about an hour, and last Friday was amazing. It really was. I didn't realize how much work they put into that building, and all the different sections, a little arena there they have, like a place where people can put out performances and musical, and the rooms for
That was really-
podcasts.
yeah,
And
absolutely
podcast
phenomenal.
is great. Yeah.
And I find it kind of ironic. That's what WREB was.
That's
it's
where it
almost
was.
like a full circle again.
That was in that building, yeah.
Yeah.
It was in that building. But I know you're willing to make the commitment to serve in the city. I'm glad you stepped up, and I know with your past work in the community in Holyoke that you're willing to serve, and I really appreciate you putting your name in for this, okay?
Very good.
And like as Councilor Bartley said, we're just talking to get a little feel for the candidates, and what we'll do is we'll just bring it up without a recommendation.
Okay.
We'll bring both names, and every councilor will have a chance to vote for one, and whoever gets the majority of the votes will be our representative down there.
All right, fair enough.
Okay?
Very good. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you so much. Thanks for coming down,
Great.
Russell.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
It's nice to meet you.
Next on the list, Mr. Daniel F. O'Sullivan. Come on in, Daniel. Take a seat, and
Do you want a copy of my resume
Yeah, we all do.
We
all
have
got it. Yep, thank you so much. And as I stated here with Mr. McNiff, just give you a little background, you
Yeah,
know.
turn the mic on.
Is it on? Green light?
There we go.
And
Gentlemen.
why you're willing to serve, what your, you know, we got your resume, what you have been doing, and why you want to serve on this important role for the city. Important for us too, because we don't have anybody right now. So,
Of course.
a little background, and then we'll ask a few questions. Okay.
So more recently, my background has been banking, but I believe I put on my resume, but my college coursework was actually within public relations and media.
Oh, great.
So when I saw this opportunity come up and that you guys were looking for someone with a banking background, I actually kind of put the two together and thought it would be a really good opportunity for someone with my experience.
Super. That sounds.
Yeah,
That's really
and
good.
I like the mission and the vision here, where they would like to, let's see here, to provide opportunities to elevate traditionally disenfranchised voices by literally and figuratively handing the mic to those most often left out of media production and dissemination. And I feel like that would be able to really help them reach their goals with that as a board member.
I like that. I like that statement. That's good. So you looked up to what, their vision?
Yep, we had their
Okay.
vision. And this was on what you guys were had put out on the post, but I was able to follow up looking at minutes, P&Ls. There's a lot of good information. They're really up to date with their minutes. So
Yeah.
it was really good.
I
I didn't have the
appre-
most recent one on there, but I was able to follow the things going on with the Comcast contract coming up and things of that nature. And obviously following what David had said earlier about how that we are funded here with Holyoke Media.
Super. Councilor Barley?
Yeah, so thanks, Mr. Chairman. One of the things that I'm very proud of, and I co-filed it with Councilor Murphy, is that we now have all the city council meetings translated. So it's Councilor Murphy and I that co-filed that order, but just because we co-filed the order, you know, you got to get somebody to implement it. So Scott's been kind of innovative and getting so. And one of the things you heard the chair say, he wants, you know, Scott's looking for somebody who's collaborative. Sometimes I'm not as collaborative as maybe I should be.
Yes, you are.
But boards, as I told Russ, you got to work together. So why don't you talk about some example that you had where you had to work in a collaborative environment and something along those lines?
Of course. Recently within the bank, I work with People's Bank, and I work in the branch at where the old peddler used to be. I was recently appointed to one of our internal committees called the Simple Committee. What we did was we worked with our teams at our branches and within our different departments to come up with solutions for problems that we had seen. And we brought those to our committee, and we went down with each of these problems that we had, and we found out we, brought them in priority, low priority, and then we were able to tackle some of those solutions. Some of them I brought up, and some of them I helped, propose and take down. And we were able to do this with about a 10-person committee and working with other departments.
And so how'd that turn out? Everything?
It turned out pretty well. There's some really good ones that I was really happy with. Yeah, making it easier for people to close out an overdraft line of credit, things of that nature, and making it so people can order foreign currency easier and exchange it. Because I don't know if you've ever been to a local bank to exchange currency, but it's a real pain in the butt.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I actually have years ago, but yeah, it can be a pain. Then you kind of heard what I said to Russ as well, and it was very gratifying. I don't think it was on camera that the two of you shook hands walking out. That but I saw that, and that's how Russ is, and Dan, that's how I mean, I've known Russ a little bit longer than you, but I've known you for a little bit, so it's nice. It's just nice to see that. But what you heard me say to Russ is, I mean, you're not getting paid for this, man. So you're going to have to prep for meetings, go to meetings, and at some point try to communicate what happened at meetings back to this motley crew that's in here on a regular basis. So what do you think about that? Is that doable with your schedule?
I wouldn't have signed up or applied for this if I didn't think it was. I see how often they have the meetings. My understanding when I saw that it was a council appointment, I had the understanding that I would most likely be the one relaying the minutes and the meetings back to you guys and relaying information to them. When I was in my fraternity in college, I had done work with our interfraternity council, our IFC. So I had been the one as the IFC representative to attend meetings and bring things back. So I'm fully aware of how that works.
Yeah, so we're lucky. We've had a nice run of administrative assistants, and we have a good gentleman in there now, and very diligent, And so that's somebody who you would probably interface with on I don't know about a monthly basis, but maybe quarterly or semi-annual, something along those lines. So and then you would relay that through a communication to the city council that we would review in city council. Sometimes we refer them to committee for further discussion. I mean, this is a big year for the city's cable contract, as I indicated. So let's see how that goes with the mayor and with the law department. And if I could can I just make a point of order, just through the chair to Councilor McGivern, who's present? Joe, does the city council have any role in ratifying to your knowledge, the cable TV contract? I just don't recall the one time it came up in my career.
No, the mayor can negotiate the contract, cannot negotiate channels or anything of that nature, but they deal so.
Microphone, Joe.
Mike? Yeah, he's a wizard, all right.
I'm sorry about that. I apologize for being late. I just came from the Holyoke meeting. No, the mayor is the sole negotiator for the cable contract. It's even the mayor has limited negotiation powers, no channels, no guarantees or anything like that. It's all about the who's going to be the cable provider in the city. But no, it does not come to the city council.
So we don't have any ratifying voice in this at all?
Nothing, yeah.
Thanks. So Councilor McGivern's been here much longer than most of us,
Most of us, yeah.
but not much longer than you, Mr. Pete.
Quite a ways, about 20 years longer, yeah.
Not that much. Well, that's 20 years, no kidding.
Yeah, just
Oh,
about.
boy. Well, at any rate, so those were some of the questions. I think the background for both candidates are really impressive, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Councilor Puelo?
Thanks for volunteering.
No, appreciate it. Councilor McGinn, any content? Okay. I was interested in looking at your resume. I'm going back a little bit, maybe 10 years ago, and I see the Susquehanna University. Is that where you're with
That's correct.
is that the one you graduated from?
So I actually did not end up graduating from the university. I had about four more classes left in the university.
Okay. And before that was,
It was called the Governor's Academy.
yeah, what is that?
That was a boarding school on the North Shore, right outside of Newburyport.
Oh, okay. Newburyport, I'm familiar
Beautiful
with that.
area.
Okay. And I like what you had to say about people, trying to give people a voice, and it's important. Talking and being down there the other day, and it was amazing that of people from all different backgrounds got down there and started. I actually got a chance to go into the podcast room, and I put the headphones on and started talking, and it's like, I thought they were going to tape me, but it was our custodial staff and two of his daughters, and we just started talking. And I talked to Scott today about it and how they can tape this, and it goes up to iCloud, and there's all these technological the terms that goes in, iTunes or the music that you can actually play. And this stuff is staying there, just like your pictures on the cloud.
Yeah.
This music stays there, or these tapes, podcasts can stay there forever. And if people want to, just as these meetings are taped, we can go back and back in, say, 2017, and we wanted to see the finance meeting and how people voted at that meeting, and they're all there. They're all on the website, and we can just, usually he says within a week, but usually within 24 hours, our meeting minutes, our meetings, tape meetings are online on the media, open, Holyoke Media. So I think it's important. I'm really grateful that you stepping up, and you have no problem with the time. I know you're busy with the banking, you have other things, but
Yeah, I didn't mean
Couple
to
hours
dismiss
a
that
month.
so quickly.
a couple hours a month is not too bad for you.
No, and I would expect that there would be other things, other commitments to attend as well.
Right, I appreciate that, yeah, because it's important, as you heard earlier tonight, to have people step up. And we want people to be involved in our community. Without volunteers, we don't go too far. It's very important, and I'm grateful for everybody that has volunteered. And when you saw this come up, and you talked about the media and banking,
Yeah.
because one of the things that he said they're looking for is something with financial experience and somebody with law experience. So, I think both you and Russ both have the financials. And when you said public media,
Yeah.
public relations,
Yeah.
that's I don't know if they have anybody on the board that deals with that right now, so that definitely would be beneficial,
Yeah.
so.
And I know I didn't finish my college coursework, but 4 classes away is pretty close.
Yeah, really close. I took a few courses towards my bachelor's degree at Westfield State. I never finished. I wish I did.
Yeah.
Things happen in life, politics happened, family happened, and just didn't get to finish it. But it's never too late to learn. We're always learning. Counselor Bartley.
Yeah, Dan,
Yes.
what's your address?
It's at 11 Longfellow Road in Holyoke, Mass.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't put it on there. My apologies.
Well, as some of the veteran counselors will remember, we have one exception about appointing a non-Holyoke resident to a board. So apparently we can do that. I didn't vote for that person, but it's just good to know where you live. And then just relative to what the chair said and what you just said, I mean, sometimes you need somebody like my dad to crack the whip and say, get back in and finish the darn degrees, because Dad had a way of doing that. It was very persuasive.
Well, the bank has $5,000 a year of tuition reimbursement, so maybe we can go that route.
There you go.
It's a good benefit.
Yeah, it was.
Take the military.
Yeah, Dad can be very persuasive, I can assure you. So, at any rate, I'm all set. I'd like to make a motion, Pete.
Okay, Counselor.
I'd like to make a motion that.
Mr. Chair, you have a hand up.
Oh, yeah, we do. Okay, Tessa. Okay,
Oh,
Tessa
sorry.
Murphy Ramboletti is also here. Tessa.
Hi,
Hi.
I've been listening, and I just wanted to thank both of the candidates for putting their names in. I don't have any questions. I just really appreciate when folks throw their name in for these volunteer positions and boards. So just wanted to make sure I said that, and I appreciate the committee's questions because you guys asked what I was thinking of. So thank you.
Super, Tessa. Thank you so much, and thanks for tuning in at the meeting. Really appreciate that.
So the way we used to, just point of order, the way we used to do this was we used to recommend somebody. But when Councilor Leahy was doing this in Pete's role, and then we would talk, we're going to take the vote on Tuesday next. So ultimately, we're going to make a public decision, but it's not really fair, I think, to volunteers, as you just heard the counselor say, coming in to, I get the fact that they're all volunteers, no matter what context, I'm asking questions, and I'm usually the first one to say thank you to the volunteers. And I've always said multiple times, we can't run the government without the volunteers. So it means a lot that you and Russ are stepping up. So it's just better now to say thank you to you both. That way, so what I'm going to do is make a motion that we advance both candidates to the city council to be decided through an open ballot. The majority wins. So that's my motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? That's about it. Thank you so much. We'll bring this forward to the full council on June 6th, Tuesday. You're free to tune in or come down here that night. And if you want to call some of the counselors looking for support, you can also do that. And I let Russ know that too. I'm sure he'll watch the end of this meeting. Let him know too that sometimes it's always good to call our colleagues to get that extra help for a vote. Okay?
Very good.
And thank you so much for your time. Thanks for dedicating.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you very